Well, since 1970, the Maryland General Assembly has taken part in 20 special sessions. It'll convene for its 21st this week. Hi, everyone. I'm Jason Newton. Welcome to 11 TV Hill. Lawmakers will gather in Annapolis to address the issue of redrawing the state's congressional map. And if approved, House Bill 2100 would change the state constitution when it comes to congressional districts. It would also give Maryland Supreme Court the authority to review congressional maps. Now, Republican lawmakers have criticized that need for a special session on this issue, calling it legislative malpractice. And joining me right now is the director of UMBC's Institute on Politics, Dr. Mileah Kromer. Good to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
When we look at this on a grand scale, like this is quite the power play for Democrats to go and call for this special session. Talk to me about that.
Oh, absolutely is. And I think it really speaks to the importance of maintaining a majority.
Yeah.
So Maryland is one of mid-teens of states that have the Democratic trifecta,
Sure.
so the ability to push through redistricting on the Democrats' terms.
Yeah.
Republicans control more state legislatures and a governor than the Democrats do. And taking the big step back, we remember that this all started around this time last year when the Texas Republicans moved forward with mid-cycle redistricting, and
Sure.
from there it just set off this battle between red states and blue states, and now we see Maryland going into session to address it here.
It seems to me like this isn't about the midterms that are coming. It seems like they're trying to build a pathway into the future, yeah?
What this effectively does is build a pathway to the future to make an 8-no map consistently.
Yeah.
And so if they are able to get mid-cycle redistricting through, if they are able to fix the constitutional issue that
Sure.
was a hindrance before, all that does is open up that seat with a very powerful Republican, Andy Harris, sitting in that seat,
Yeah.
who is raises a lot of money. He's very popular among his base. But if Democrats are able to push this through, then they can also spend the time over the next year looking for a candidate, a Democratic candidate who could run in a new district and possibly unseat Harris.
Sure. Let's take our time through this. So Texas is the first for this to show its head, and this was for Republicans. So we'll see. As that time went on, more and more states were like, okay, well, if they're up to it, then we got to respond. Is that sort of the way this all happened?
That's exactly what's happening.
Okay.
And so that was the sort of first foray into this. And it has been a back and forth. You see California has gotten involved. Governor Westmore had pressured Senate President Ferguson to start mid-cycle redistricting during that regular legislative session. Again, Ferguson demurred on that. And now we're going to move forward to this special session where the parameters are so narrow that you actually can't address any other sort of cost of living issues, which were the big issues during that legislative session. So it's really narrow. This is the only thing they can do during that period. And the majority party gets to set the rules.
Right.
So it's just another example of why it's important to build legislative majorities.
And in the minority within the State House, they're saying, like you're saying, they want to talk cost of living, they want to talk energy prices and all that kind of stuff, but that's going to have to wait, correct?
That it's going to have to wait because of the way that the special session is sort of bounded by topic.
Okay.
And so now they can certainly push back upon it. There's nothing stopping them from going to the media, from writing op-eds, from pushing forward with their message that Maryland shouldn't be focusing on this. They should be focusing on something else. But they don't have the institutional control to make that decision.
You do a lot of polling. Is this popular, do you think, among Maryland voters?
It's tough to say, and I would say there's a couple things that are going on. First of all, that process issues like redistricting don't typically get all the attention as much as a cost of living issue. So it's never that big of an issue for people. And I always look back in evidence for 8 years, a very popular Governor Larry Hogan tried to push through independent redistricting, which would take some of the politics out of how we draw district lines versus where we're at today. He was never able to get any sort of real big support to get that over the finish line or even really through the General Assembly.
Once this session is over, there's no decision that's made. The clear decision only is that this goes to the ballot. The people end up deciding, right? Walk me through the process here.
Sure, and then what you're going to see is it's going to be a battle of public opinion.
Okay.
Right now we have a gubernatorial election going on. It's going to take up some of the conversation. However, this sort of national, Maryland being part of a national kind of conversation about this, I think that will certainly dominate this next election cycle as we look to November. It's going to be really, really important. And for Democrats, they are going to be able to message to their base, who, by the way, wins elections here in Maryland. You have to go through the Democratic Party to win. And a lot of Democrats are really focused on pushing back against Donald Trump. They're unhappy that he won a second term,
Yeah.
and they've been unhappy. They're unhappy with what happened in Texas and the other red states. And there is a movement, at least among really committed Democrats, that they want to see pushback, and this to them is pushback.
Sure. Do you think we end up seeing this more throughout the country at this point, or do you think, or is this said and done?
It really depends. I mean,
Yeah.
it depends on the institutional structures of each individual state, whether they have a trifecta, whether they have the appetite to actually push it through, and whether the rules of their individual states and their procedures allow for that to happen.
Okay. Always good details. I love it. Dr. Mileah Kromer, thank you for coming by.